Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we're going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar. So with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. It has been a very eventful year already. We are only 2 months in, and we are already witnessing Bitcoin still doing what Bitcoin usually does, ranging around $47,000. The weekly candle close is 1 day away. And if Bitcoin closes above this level, it is going to be the largest daily close for Bitcoin since going all the way back to 2022. Now, during this time, we're starting to see altcoins going a little bit crazy. On the 7-day span, we're seeing almost 100% gains on some altcoins, but double-digit figures along the board. And guess what? Hbar is up 12.3% on the 7-day span, alongside some other great players in the space. Now, as we look at Hbar, are we expecting an imminent move? Because that's what we're seeing now getting posted around a little bit, which we're going to talk about, we're going to address it. Now, if you are holding Hbar, I highly suggest staying until the end of this video. Not because of engagement purposes or anything like that, but because we're going to go over substantial amounts of information. Number one, when we look at the log scale for Hbar, we have been looking very, very good. But we still need to be aware of that large token unlock. It's going to be unlocking almost 5 billion tokens, which will take the supply to 38 billion. We still need to be aware of that because guess what? That could cause a pretty substantial sell-off. Now, with that in mind, we're going to talk about that. We're going to address it. We're going to address where we could head to on Hbar with that token unlock in mind. So here is the post that got posted by Cryptotail Media. Essentially, they are quoting eGreg Crypto, which we will also address here in a second. And what they're saying is Hbar's breakout imminent? Crypto experts analysis. And like I said, this is eGreg Crypto. Within this, we could actually see Hbar's bounce from the Fibonacci 236 indicates a strong foundation signaling potential growth. The appearance of a double bottom pattern on the weekly chart adds optimism, signaling a potential price rise. eGreg Crypto's analysis, supported by trading volume, points to an anticipated breakout, urging investors to monitor Hbar closely. Now, with this in mind, here is the post from eGreg. And we actually have bouncing off the Fib 236 like a boss, a close examination of the reveals an impressive display as Hbar bulls assertively push the price upwards from the Fib 236 level. This action suggests a robust foundation is forming around this crucial level, indicating potential sustained support. I'm anticipating a significant upward surge, potentially reaching equilibrium or even nearing the all-time high, catching many off guard before entering a consolidation phase and initiating a phase of price discovery. Barbarians get ready for a barbaric move. Now, here we can actually see his chart. We can see the 236, which is that blue line along the board, and we can see where we are essentially at right now. Now, the big thing to focus on, and the big thing that I've been addressing with Hbar is, like I said, we have that substantial unlock. Now, I will say, I support eGreg. I think that we are anticipating a significant move on Hbar. In fact, I've been talking about it for a little bit of time now. I've been saying 18 to 20 cents is the initial target. We're going to talk about why here in a second, but first I want to talk about this chart that got posted actually from Credible Crypto. And we actually have Barbarians. You've been patient, and that patience will pay off soon. Adam and Eve, cup and handle, whatever you want to call it, this is a nearly 2-year macro higher time frame bottoming pattern that is about to conclude. When we break from this pattern, there is no doubt in my mind that the subsequent expansion will take us to new all-time highs. For now, we just need to be a little more patient, as while Bitcoin has the spotlight and is on its way to new all-time highs, most alts like Hbar will likely continue to chop about for a bit longer. Ideally, we base out here on this lower time frame range for some time, more days and weeks before expansion. I will be loading up bigly in the green zone if we get it for a swing low. And again, as we really look at this, or sorry, he meant a swing long, but either way, as we look at this, I feel as though this kind of confirms our thought process here, right? We have this nice little move to the upside, which is above the 9 cent zone. just for us to have that sell off, because again, the token unlock would essentially add fuel to that fire, meaning it will push down. And that's where we start to see a push down to like the 5.5 cent zone to almost 7 cents. While everyone's calling, look at Hbar's about to break out and go to new all-time highs because we're getting above that 9 cent zone again. All of a sudden, fake out and we sell off. Just for us to eventually get that major breakout if we look at either the cup and handle or even the Adam and Eve structure. But this is something that I've been looking at for a little bit of time as well. As we look at that red zone, right? Like this is all major resistance that we've been fighting for a while. I mean, ever since we sold off back in 2022, and since the initial test, right? This initial test, it has been 364 days, almost a whole damn year since we hit these highs back in February of 2023. So it's been 364 days of us going sideways, waiting for this big move to break. Now, on the weekly, I will say this, on the weekly, things look very, very good because we have been holding on that 50 weekly EMA, and it looks like we have already had a nice, pretty good move off of it, right? Off of those lows, if we actually look at the price, we could see that Hbar is actually up almost 16%. It's actually up almost 20% if we go to the top of this candle wick off of those lows, which is a pretty good bounce. But we are not out of the water yet. For Hbar to be confirmed bullish on the weekly, we need to have a close over the recent high, which is right around 9 cents. But ultimately, I would love to get a close over 9.5 cents. And realistically speaking, we should be targeting the 200 weekly EMA, which is right around 10.5 cents almost. But the reason why I said in the past that the big level that I'm looking at is ultimately like the 18 to 20 cent zone. And I even said 15 cents initially, because again, this is where 15 cents is. You can see those candle body closes back in 2021 before we had the all-time high breached. You could also see where 15 cents is on the chart right around the summer of 2021's support. And then obviously 20 cents would be us regaining some significant momentum and flipping the 2022 candle body closes before, of course, Luna imploded and the market went into a full-on bear market. So there's a lot of significance there, but ultimately speaking, what I'm really looking for is to see if we do get that sell-off from the token unlock or not, which, like I said in the past, every single time that we've gotten a substantial token unlock, it did push us to the downside. Now, the big area that I'm looking forward to seeing get retested on Hbar, which is, like I said, where you should load up, and just like Credible Crypto is saying, you should be loading up down here in this green, is right around 6 cents. And this is significant support, but it's also significant resistance that has turned into support since we broke above it, going all the way back to November. And technically, we broke above it back in the beginning of November and held on to it ever since. So I've been looking at that level as a significant support zone, which is right around, like I said, 6 cents. But we could wick down to like 5.5 cents, just like Credible Crypto's chart is showing us. But again, if we look at this, it all relies on the Bitcoin chart as well. So, like I said, if we go all the way back to February of 2023, and technically it really did start back in January of 2023 as well. If we actually go back to January, you can see where this actually started to move. But once we broke that 50 weekly EMA, that was the big moment. But we never broke the 200 weekly EMA. And in fact, it's actually not even on the chart here. It starts back here in July of 2023. But we still hit this level significantly, and that's where we actually rejected off of it heavy. And now we are waiting for this to actually break out of it. And just like Credible Crypto is saying, how this will chop, yeah, it makes sense. Because if we look at where we are at, so far we have been holding on to this trend line on the bottom. The candle bodies are the significance here because that means that we are actually closing above it, meaning that we are still maintaining it. You can see where we actually closed. In terms of the upside as well, just right under that trend line. What we are waiting for is just to kind of brew here and get a break above it, back test it, and then continue to the upside, which is the typical structure that you are looking forward to seeing if you have a confirmed breakout and that altcoin is very bullish versus Bitcoin. Right now, a lot of altcoins are actually not bullish towards Bitcoin. A lot of them are actually selling off heavy on the Bitcoin pair. XRP is another great example of this. And the reason why is because Bitcoin is still establishing itself in the market to go to that all-time high. And if we are looking at that, more focus is on Bitcoin than altcoins, which means money's flowing from altcoins into Bitcoin, anticipating the big run to a new all-time high. That's where we start to see a lot of people selling their Bitcoin to jump into altcoins to double up their gains, or ultimately 5, 10, 15, 20x their gains. But I do think that once this does start to break out and we start to really regain some momentum and break above these EMAs, specifically the 200 is the big key. That's where we really look at all-time highs. But that's why I said, initially speaking, when we do get a confirmed breakout on this chart, the first initial targets is that 15 to 20 cent zone. Ultimately, I'm looking at 18 to 20 cents. But after that, we really just look for all-time highs getting breached and going into price discovery for Hbar. But I do think that everyone should be looking into this substantially, because at the same exact time, and it's not even just transactions, right? Like, we could look at transactions all damn day, but transactions are not going to really result in value for Hbar as a token just yet, because again, we need still a lot more transactions to move Hbar, because again, the transactions on Hedera are pretty damn low in terms of transactional fees. But still, transactions have been doing very well year to date, and we're just going back to January 1st to now, which is, I mean, it's only been roughly a month and a half. We're already at almost 3.5 billion transactions. But the big thing that I'm actually looking at is account growth. Guys, in just under 2 months, 301,000 plus active accounts, 200 and almost 70,000 created accounts. So growth is there around Hedera. There's a lot of hype around Hedera. There's a lot of focus put on Hedera right now as well. And that's why I do think that right now, currently speaking, the overall price chart for Hbar is very, very bullish. Now, are we confirming that we're going to get this wick down to 6 cents and 5.5 cents? No. Prepare some capital on the sidelines, but have your long-term bags of Hbar locked and loaded. You should have already have done this by now if you've been around for a little bit of time, because again, going back to 2023, guys, we've already had over a year of incredible buying opportunities. I mean, technically speaking, if we go from the time that we did start to range on the support and have this nice breakout, it was 273 days. But we also had a lot of days back here. If we go back to even like the September 2022 timeframe, and this is FTX obviously, we had a little bit of time there for almost 100 plus days where it was actually below 6 cents. So I don't want to hear anybody say, hey, I didn't have enough time to load up my Hbar bags. You did. And right now as well, like around Hbar and around a lot of tokens on this channel that I do talk about, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's bearish, it's bearish, it's bearish. So much FUD is being spewed around a lot of these altcoins when they are actually regaining a ton of momentum on the chart. And we could see that clearly by breaking above these significant EMAs. I mean, just for reference, by the way, the level that we regained momentum on is the same exact level that allowed us to have this massive spike from 6 cents all the way up to about roughly 10 cents. But the candle body closes is what we are looking for. The candle body closes everything in terms of breaking actually out of these significant resistance zones. So you need to focus on the candle body closes, not just the candle wicks. For an example, if we go back to January of 2021, you could see these nice wicks all the way up to like 12 cents. Even this one went up to about like 10.5 cents. But as you guys do see, the candle body close, it was right on 9.5 cents, or right around 9.5 cents. And then it came back down to about roughly 7 cents before it had that major breakout to the upside. So we are still anticipating a major move on Hbar. Is it imminent? Not exactly. It's going to take some time, but during that time, you want to make sure that you are focused on buying the key areas of interest. And if we do get to those significant lows, like I said, that is a big buy opportunity. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, set notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, thanks for watching. This has been Nick. Peace out.